The audio novel. Even in misfortune, I still love you. Episode 3. By Woon Wai Story. That morning, the air was cool and pleasant, with soft sunlight streaming through the tree branches. Birds sang harmoniously, filling the air with a gentle melody. I quickly got dressed and headed over to Kota's house, as his mother had invited me. I felt a strange excitement, a sensation like having a stone in my stomach. When I arrived, I saw Kota already waiting at the front of his house. He was straddling his bike, looking eager and ready for an adventure. His eyes sparkled, and a small smile revealed his bright, clean teeth. Ready to be today's disaster buddy? I greeted him with a grin. Kota chuckled lightly, his voice filled with cheer. More than ready. I smiled back, relieved that I hadn't forgotten to bring along the lucky amulet given to me by the monk. Lucky for you, I remembered my lucky charm, I said, holding it out for Kota to see. You really didn't have to bring it. With me around, you're guaranteed good luck all day, he replied confidently, his eyes gleaming with determination. Then we started our journey to school together. The streets we passed were quiet yet full of life, with the rhythmic sound of Kota's bicycle wheels in the background. The sky was a clear blue, and a cool breeze brushed past us, making this journey feel like it was paved with rose petals. Everything felt smooth and relaxed in a way I had never experienced before. When we reached school, I parked my bike in the shed, only to hear a familiar voice. Achira, Achira, Achira. A thin boy with thick glasses called out to me with a cheerful wave. It was Sam Wang. I chuckled and replied playfully, Hey, Wang. Where were you yesterday? Stuck doing square root calculations? Wang gave a sheepish smile. Not quite. I went out of town with my mom, so I skipped the first day. Probably nothing important, right? Kota and I exchanged glances and laughed softly. Nothing at all. I replied in a high-pitched voice, as if to say yesterday wasn't a big deal. As we were chatting, Nan, the class leader and self-proclaimed guardian of order, passed by with a serious look. What are you guys doing here? Is yesterday's work for Mr. Chache and the other teachers finished? And don't forget to turn it in at the teacher's office, Nan said sternly. Wang's mouth dropped open. Ha! Were the teachers competing for who could give the most work or something? Nan smirked, patting Wang on the back lightly. It's all just rivalry, man. They're all in it to win. With that, he walked away. Wang grumbled to himself, looking annoyed. Every time I meet up with you, Achira, it's bad luck first thing in the morning. Kota, who had been listening, laughed, that's probably unrelated, you know. Wang turned to Kota, eyeing him curiously. You're the new kid, right? I introduced them. This is Kota, the new kid. And Kota, this is Sam Wang. You can just call him Wang. As we rushed to complete the assigned work, a deep, calm voice suddenly broke in. Did you guys forget about the homework? Startled, Kota, Wang, and I turned to see Ryu standing there. We hadn't even noticed his arrival. Ryu was dressed neatly in his uniform, his shirt buttoned up to the collar, his hair combed flawlessly. His face was expressionless but focused. Ryu. How long have you been standing there? I asked, surprised. Ryu ignored my question and took out a tablet from his bag. Several teachers assigned homework yesterday. Remember? Mr. Chache, Ms. Prani, Ms. Thani, Ms. Ari, Mr. Chatri, Ms. Nariman, Mr. Samkwan, and Mr. Samchai. Enough with the list, it's giving me chills, Wang muttered. Ryu allowed a small smirk. Don't worry, I figured out a way to help you guys. He opened his tablet, displaying several files. I've compiled all the information and created outlines for each assignment. You guys just need to add your personal insights and polish them up a bit, and you'll be able to turn them in on time. I looked at Ryu, amazed. How did you manage all that? We didn't even go to the library. Ryu shrugged slightly. Just using my data analysis skills. No big deal. Kota grinned widely. Ryu, you're amazing. Ryu nodded. Let's get started. We've only got until the next period. The three of us began working together in a quiet corner of the school, our whispers and the tapping of fingers on the tablet creating a steady rhythm, almost like a genius analysis system guiding us through. The atmosphere was a mix of focus and lighthearted fun, perfectly balanced. As we continued, Kota suddenly asked curiously, "Hey, aren't you even a little curious about who I am?" Ryu gave a small smile. Not really hard to guess. You're Kota Kimaruhazu, a Thai-Japanese half-blood, born in Japan, moved to Thailand at age 10. Your dad works for a big corporation in Japan and doesn't have much time for family. Kota stared in shock. How do you know that much, even about my mom? Are you an AI or something? Ryu laughed softly. Just good at finding information. Our quiet laughter echoed through our secluded spot in the school as we continued our work, our voices blending with the sound of tapping fingers, moving forward together in a way that felt both effortless and full of purpose.